All right, so I'm going to start off with something that actually was not planned, and I'm going to ask Josh, Tony, and Angela if y'all could join me on the stage, please. So I have a really incredible team of people who I get to work with, and I thought you should see them, so come on up. And we're going to do a little audience participation when they get up here. Some of you may know this already. If not, don't worry. We're going to show it to you as we go along. So if you are willing and able, please stand up. We're going to do a little watermelon Tai Chi, please. So if we could spread ourselves out so everybody can see us. If you don't know it, just follow along. Try not to hurt yourself. And on the count of 3, pick up the watermelon. Pick up the watermelon. Slice the watermelon. Slice the watermelon. Would you like a piece? Would you like a piece? Bite the watermelon. Bite the watermelon. Spit out the seeds. Spit out the seeds. That's good. That's good. Give yourselves a round of applause. To the amazing staff. They're all set. Thank you for joining me in that. Perfect. All right, everybody. Well, I'm so excited that you all are here tonight. And what an incredible honor to share the stage with Bob Gentry and Jill Halvax. Please give them a round of applause. Amazing people. For those of you who don't know me yet, I know what you're thinking. You're looking at the bald head, the glasses, the beard. Who is this bootleg Bob Gentry who's taking the stage now? That's fair. My name's Mike Knox, and I am. And I'm the current director here working with SPOP. I would say SPOP now and then, and I assume you'll cheer. So that's cool. I am so honored to be with you today. I didn't know what they were going to do, so mine's a little shorter. It's okay. Was pretty focused on logistics, and I realized this morning at about 9 o'clock that I had to write something. So here we go. You don't have to do that. That's okay. So something that I think all of us here in the room already know is what an incredible program you all have not just been a part of, but have built, right? And I honestly don't have the right words to describe what an honor and a privilege it is to work with it. I think something that's really telling about how amazing this job is that there have only been 3 of us on stage today, right? The 50th anniversary. Because we get into this job and we're like, I'm never leaving. We retire here. Because, so if you wanted the job, I'm sorry. That's we'll see. So my history with this program begins back in 1998. I actually attended the very last unit prep that this program ever saw. An amazing experience. So I went through Red Year. Where are the Red Year staffers at? Red Year? And I think like so many who experienced that program, I suddenly found myself in a space where it was okay to be me, right? It was okay to be unapologetically who I was. And I hadn't experienced a lot of spaces like that before coming here to UCI. I'd always been trying to fit in, trying to convince people I knew what they were talking about when they talked about sports and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, that game was amazing. And suddenly it was okay, right? It was okay not to be that. And so I fell in love that year. I kept trying to staff. Finally worked out in my third year for the first time. I got to staff in 2001. I came back as a returner in 2002, and I got to coordinate the program in 2003. Which it actually feels little bit weird to say, because somewhere along the way we stopped referring to these as years. So I actually staffed green year, orange year, and coordinated brown year. So we're out of colors, by the way, at this point. We've had Phoenix year and Prism year and all kinds of things. So I've got some history with the program. I was very, very fortunate that the program became mandatory in 2007 under Jill's guidance, because Jill suddenly needed another person to work on it because there were just too many programs. And so very luckily, I don't know if Jill remembers this actually, I thought I was coming in to interview for a position, and Jill started showing me around the office and telling me where I would be sitting. And I was like, did I just get a job? Like, what happened? And so I started working with SPOB. And it was an incredibly lucky and life-changing moment. Many of those coordinators that first year are actually here in the room. They were real mean to me at the beginning, by the way, except for Archie. Thank you, Archie. They were like, because they had been together, it was March, right? Like they had selected a staff. And they were like, who's this guy, right? Which was a fair assessment. But eventually we started getting along, and they were all at my wedding, actually, which happened that year. Oh, that's right, yeah. I married Sherwin Umali, by the way. There she is. Saw her up here earlier, sitting next to Edgar, who closed out our wedding, last person on the dance floor. So I've been working with this program ever since, and we've seen changes. We've gone through a lot of transformation, but at its core, it's always been about you all. It's always been about our staffers, about our coordinators, and what you bring to this program. And it's already been said better than I can say it, but you are the heart and soul of everything that we've ever done here, and the people who have taught me basically everything I know about working with students and just being a good person. And so I'm incredibly grateful for that. To give you a little bit of an update on where we're at these days, since officially becoming the director in 2012, I was like interim then actually, so 2014, whatever. We have seen some changes. I became the director of new student programs back then. You don't have. There's like 3 things, so you can wait till I get to the third one, maybe. A couple of years later, transformed that into, then was the director of new student and leadership programs. And just this year, we have actually transformed ourselves yet again. And so now I am the director of the Center for Student Leadership. Thank you, I appreciate that. And our core program is still SPOB to this day, right? And so I'll talk to you a little bit about why we've made this change and what it means for the program. Becoming the Center for Student Leadership was a very intentional move, because as you know, because you've been out there, you've been staffing, you've been coordinating, you've been doing what you've been doing, UCI's got some amazing students, right? We've got people on this campus who do things that no student on any other campus does. Nobody has the coordinators the way that we do, right? That's a professional staff position. We're not exploiting them, I swear. But this is the caliber, right? And so we now, as the Center for Student Leadership, we are making a commitment from the moment that a student sets foot on this campus. You are going to be a leader, and we are going to help you get there. And the first way we're going to do that is through our orientation staffers at all of the various programs that we run. So that's where we're at today. It's looking a little bit different. I'll share with you, just so you know, and I think this will resonate with all SPOB folks, the values that drive everything we do in the center. I have to look at them because we're very new. I haven't memorized them yet. We have 8 values. We have social justice, authenticity, vulnerability, mentorship, innovation, empowerment, connection, and social responsibility. And that's SPOB, right? Like, that's what we do. So in this new center, we're now running 14 orientation programs every summer. So that includes 10 SPOPs. We have a transfer SPOP. We have an international SPOP. We have the one-day programs that we're calling mini T-SPOP for our transfer students. And then even within that, we have special programs that we run for parents and guardians. So this year, we're going to be holding 2 Spanish language programs for parents. And thank you. And for the first time ever, a Mandarin language program. So it's a really exciting time. Every year, we give out really hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships to help students attend this program. We're not where we want to be yet, and we need to help more students and provide more support. But we're able to serve upwards of 6,000 students every year, 3,000 parents and guardians. You should know that about 50%, actually I think more than 50% of those students are first generation at this point. So UCI is doing an incredible job. And just this past fall, we launched the brand new SPOP mentorship program. So we're engaging these students even beyond their time at the program all throughout the academic year. So it's growing and growing and growing. But again, back to the heart, which is always about our volunteers, our coordinators, the students who make everything happen. So I have a quote. So Dr. Cornel West once said that justice is what love looks like in public. And I'm sharing that with you now, in part because I think it's just a sentiment that's worth sharing at this particular time when public life so often lacks justice and love. But also because I firmly believe that SPOP, and especially the role that you all have played in it, is what love looks like in education. Okay. Woo. Oh my gosh. Of course somebody just threw tissues at me. That was amazing. Before I continue with the talk, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I would be remiss if I didn't remind you all that in addition to celebrating 50 years of this program, we do have a fundraiser running, and we want to give as many students as possible access to everything that this program offers. I know a lot of people in the room have already given and given very generously. I also know that there are folks in the room who just can't, and that's okay if you're not positioned to do that. So this is a friendly reminder. If you're still thinking about it, there are actually instructions on the back of the program that you got. So you can text to give, and we could hit our goal tonight. Wow. Jill is so excited about this.
I don't know how to do it, but
So that's, I just said, Jill, it's in the program, please. All right, so I'm gonna move on. So it's a struggle to be in the world right now, right? Not that it was ever anywhere close to a perfect place, but it does seem that these days, each morning kind of brings some fresh new nightmare or heartbreak about the world, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. It's okay. But I know that there are times when I feel really helpless and small. There are times when I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't get back to sleep because I'm thinking about the pain that's in the world right now. Excuse me. And I know, first of all, that you all continue to do really amazing work in the world, in your lives, through your careers, through everything that you're doing. But if you ever feel small, if you ever feel helpless, I hope that this night is a reminder to you that you have been mighty. That there was a time when you were part of something that may not have changed the entire world, but that absolutely changed the worlds of so many of the people who were lucky enough to be part of it. So what I want you to remember moving forward is when the world seems petty and mean and greedy and cruel, you're not just an inhabitant of it, you're a shaper of it. We used to get a fairly common criticism of SPOP that basically said, this program is kind of an illusion. It shows new students a space in which they could be who they truly are, where they could be comfortable, where they didn't have to feel like they were under attack. And sometimes for the first time in their entire lives. And when I would hear that, I would read it in evaluations, or I'd hear it from students directly. I didn't really know what to do with it for a really long time. I'm like, what, are we supposed to be meaner to you or something? Like, that doesn't sound right. But as with all things in my career, it was students, it was staffers and coordinators who showed me how we do move forward through that. And it wasn't that we act meaner in the program. It was that if the world's not good enough for these students, we need to change the world. Thank you for that. You know, these students were discovering that the ills of the world didn't stop at our borders here on campus, right? They were encountering a lot of things. And so I guess my message for the night to kind of close things out is that we need you, right? We need you to keep doing what you're doing. We need you to keep being who you are and being unapologetically who you are and authentically and vulnerably who you are in the world, because you have so much more power than you know. Even if you think you're powerful right now, you've got more, right? Like so much more. And I want to remind you that you are in this moment and you have always been so much more than enough. And so the last thing that I'll say is, as you go out into the world, as you face the challenges that we're facing as a community, as a campus, as a world today, that you may not change the whole world, right? At least not overnight. But you will change somebody's world. And you have absolutely changed my world. So thank you for that. Thank you very much. That was really nice, thank you. I'm gonna shift the mood a little bit now. So those of you who are here from Brown Year, you might remember that we had a little bit of a tradition at our talent shows, and that is that at every talent show, I would tell a joke. So back then it was actually the bear joke. I will not be telling the bear joke tonight. The bear joke is new and improved. We had a coordinator in 2009, Royal Year, who's unfortunately not here today, but Sarah Kahn, right, who reinvented the bear joke. So this is now an anteater joke. So you all are gonna leave this room, I'm not gonna say with an amazing anteater joke, but with an anteater joke that you can tell your friends and family. So if you will indulge me, here we go. I'm gonna take the mic off for this one. All right. So an anteater walks into a bar. I'm not even done yet. There's more. And walks up to the bartender and says, "Hey bartender, how you doing tonight?" Bartender says, "I'm good, Anteater. How are you doing?" Anteater says, "I'm doing really well, but honestly, I'm feeling really indecisive. I don't know what I want to get to drink. Do you think you could help me out?" And the bartender says, "Anteater, of course I can help you out. I'm a professional. I see this kind of thing all the time. How does a beer sound?" And the anteater says, "No." And the bartender's like, "Okay." He's looking at the anteater like you're looking at me right now. And says, "It's all right, Anteater. Would you like a nice glass of wine?" And the anteater says, "No." And the bartender's like, "You're really freaking me out, Anteater. Ice water. Can I get you some ice water?" Anteater says, "Oh my gosh, that sounds so refreshing. Honestly, I don't know why I came into a bar. I would love some ice water. Thank you so much." And the bartender says, "All right, Anteater, I'm gonna get your ice water, but before I go, I have to know, What is up with the long nose? That is so by far the best reaction that joke has ever received. But I tell it at every spot. So thank you for that. If anybody's still working it out, anteaters also have long. I got you. All right. So if anybody can come and help me to get the podium off the stage, we will welcome our next group to the stage.